Welcome back. Now, it's been described by critics as this year's finest British film, but it can't be seen by its target audience, or by many of its young stars, after it was given an 18 certificate by British censors. This Is England, out in April, is the story of an adolescent who's seduced by racist skinheads during the 1980s. The film's production team say the movie highlights important issues like the dangers of bullying and racism, and it deserves to be seen by a younger audience. Nina Tegerty has more.
A film's classification is vital. It determines who watches it and the takings it reaps at the box office. Age limits in the UK are set by the British Board of Film Classification, but what happens if the filmmakers don't accept the age limit stamped on their movie? Set in 1983, This Is England tells the compelling story of Sean and his transformation into a skinhead.
Honestly, mate, you look sterling.
So am I in the gang now?
Well, not yet. Get your shirt on. Let's see your Ben Sherman, then.
I ain't got a Ben Sherman.
But things go downhill when Combo, an older skinhead, enters the scene. He unnerves the younger members of Sean's mixed gang, especially the only black member, with his racist stories from his time in prison.
Right? Proper horrible. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Didn't mean not to buy that, you know what I mean? Just slip of the tongue, like.
But fatherless Sean is impressed by Combo's hardness. He switches gangs and starts to view racist Combo as his role model.
Spit. It's a man's handshake, that. I promise you.
Sean and his new gang start to harass the local Pakistani community. From here on in, implicit violence runs through This Is England, but the production team say this is tame compared to other films.
There's very little violence in ours. It's suggested there's a threat of violence, but actually there's not very much physical violence happens. And I was just comparing it recently with some films that I'd watched. I watched The Snakes on a Plane. There's 31 killings in that, I found out, you know, and you know, ranging from somebody getting a heel through the brain, very graphic. I've looked at films like Jeepers Creepers that got 15, which is about flesh-eating animals. Our message of violence is very clear. You know, we're saying that violence does happen, but it's, you know, it's not a good thing. We show the horrors and what violence occurs. We do it in a restrained way.
As you've probably gathered, the dialogue used by Sean and the others is peppered with swear words.
2,000 years, this little tiny island has been raped and pillaged by people who have come here and wanted a piece of it.
Kids do swear, you know. I mean, believe me, the kids that we got to act in the film, you know, when they weren't acting, they were swearing, you know. It's not like, you know, they don't swear, they do. And just to sort of be knocked back because of a swear word, I think is really, really, I just think it's just sort of so outdated.
But guidelines from the British Board of Film Classification state, in a film suitable for 15-year-olds, repeated aggressive use of the strongest language is unacceptable, and violence shouldn't dwell on the infliction of pain. For these reasons, the censors say This Is England is unsuitable for teenagers.
We looked at it, and the issues were, for us, the very strong language which is used in conjunction with violence, and that, we are told by the public, is unacceptable below 18.
But what do teenagers think? I went to St Augustine's School in North London. It's part of the government's film club scheme, encouraging under-18s to watch and discuss movies. I showed these young film buffs non-violent clips from This Is England and asked them what they thought.
Everyone's used to like violence and swearing now.
Yeah.
Because it's just everywhere, like wherever you go you hear someone swearing. It's not something like different or shocking.
Most also said they'd be interested in seeing all the film, even though they're underage.
If it was an 18, I think I would, you know, at a certain age, I would say, oh, if it's 18, I want to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, just for the sake of it.
I'm 15, so if I see an 18, I'll be like, what's that about?
Yet it isn't teenagers like this, intelligently dissecting the film, that the BBFC are worried about.
What we're concerned about is groups of teenagers seeing this on Saturday night at the cinema. It's rather different from watching it in an educational setting where the whole issues are unpacked and discussed rationally. And we feel very strongly that in a cinema setting, it's more appropriate at 18.
But the production team told More 4 News they're considering showing This Is England to officials at local authorities who can override a film's 18 rating and show it to a younger audience.
That was Nina Tegerty reporting, and This Is England is out in April. That's it from us tonight. Do join us again tomorrow at 8. Until then, have a very good evening.